Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy. And we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people harness their Capricorn energy differently. Some people harness high vibe Capricorn energy. They have hope and faith and belief in love. And they've freed themselves from some of the things that manipulate them. And to have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. But some people harness, they're still manipulated by some things that some other people aren't manipulated by, and they might be more caught up in the illusion of the world or thinking these things of the world will make them happy, and they haven't seen the truth that love is what makes it all worthwhile. Some people don't even want to do love. You can get hurt doing love, and some people have decided, operating more from their egoic viewpoint, I get hurt doing that. I'm going to make my life more about the world or being in my defensive, egoic nature. And then some people harness shadowy Capricorn energy. It's all about just trying to manipulate people to get what they want in the world. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story and where some other people in your life are at in the story. The reason for the reading is the second chakra, which the first chakra is about our basic foundation of self, what our truth is. And then from there, in the second chakra, would be who we want to be in relationship with based on that foundation. But some people who are shadowy want to be in relationships with loving people because it's great to be in a relationship with loving people. They know they might not like to be with people who operate like themselves. If they're bossy and controlling, they don't want to be with another bossy, controlling person. If they kind of like the scales tipped in their favor, they don't want to be in a relationship with someone else who wants the scales tipped in their favor. So the second chakra can talk about that people are ready to start taking that action to try to and working on, being in relationships with people that they want to be in relationship with, but it is dictated kind of by their underlying philosophy of life in the first chakra. What foundation do we operate from? And that's a strategy people are going to use moving forward. Some people are going to try to strategize to be in relationships with loving people, even though they're not that type of person themselves. The people who are operating from a foundation of love, they also are motivated and inspired to work with people who are just and fair and loving and have character and integrity. Other people just want to try to get in relationships maybe with people who are like that, or they kind of view like the things of the world that they're trying to attain that are more important to them than love. They think that is the answer to their problems, but I just think they'll find out it wasn't the truth. We all have a truth of what we think is true and just and fair and how to live life that'll make us happy. We think that's the answer, that's the door to spirit, but I think some people with the goddess of the moon, the moon can talk about our judgment is clouded. We weren't seeing things clearly. We had lessons to learn. And some other people have learned those lessons, and they are really going to kind of go to the next level of life because they're listening to their intuition to guide them. So what's going on in Capricorn energy? We have the sun, the garden and the gate, the adjacent possibilities, and the envy card. And the reason it came out is because of All Tied Up. So the All Tied Up card is kind of like an Eight of Swords energy, which is Gemini energy, which is a dualistic nature that all of us can tap into. And it has to do with what is our truth. Am I going to work with things of the world? Or am I work with things of the world? Is that what I think is my truth? And I have these fears or insecurities or self-limiting beliefs that I think I need to work with these things of the world. Or do we realize I'm going to let love and intuition guide my steps? So the high vibe people have been illuminated to the truth that they could take action more from their mind than their heart. They could take action more out of fear and insecurity and pride and ego, but they've already been illuminated to the truth that if they do that, it's probably not going to work out the way they wanted because they have some lessons learned about taking action in truth and love. So the high vibe people are staying in life-giving energy, focused on truth and love. They've done this inner work. The reason I say inner work is because this is a feminine figure, and the feminine figures can talk about how we think and how we feel. So the high vibe people have offered love to themselves to emotionally feel stable and abundant and grounded and balanced within themselves. And they know that they have choices. And they're maybe just listening to their intuition about which choice to make, and as they move forward, which doors to go through and which doors not to open, because they know that there's people in the world. You could kind of look at the envy card as people who aren't authentic, people who want to be in a relationship with you because it'd be good for their ego and their image and their status, and that's kind of what drives and motivates them. And you've probably already been in relationships with people who are more about those things, and you don't want to take action from that energy within yourself, and you also don't want to be in relationships with other people who are like that. So the high vibe people are kind of just listening to their intuition about how to move forward and who to work with, and they're listening to their intuition. The other people, I would say, they're operating more from their egoic nature. High vibe people are harnessing, aligning with high vibe Gemini Libra, or high vibe Gemini Leo energy within themselves. I have hope and faith and belief and love. I'm going to listen to my intuition to guide me. The other people could be, some people in the world that you could know, even if they're not people in your own life, are kind of in a mental prison about looking victorious and successful because they're envious of other people. And they might want to get in relationships with people and stay in relationships with people because it is good for their ego and their image and their status. If some of those people are already in a relationship with someone that by worldly standards, it looks really victorious and successful, those people are hoping, and putting work and effort maybe into that relationship. And I think they could be up in a mental prison that, that the people that they're in relationship will be illuminated to the truth that they're not in the relationship for the right reasons. And if shadowy people are in a relationship with someone and what drives and motivates them is more the ego or the image or the money and materialism, they're always kind of up in their head. Am I shining as bright as I could shine? Am I in a relationship with the right person? Maybe I should go get in a relationship with someone else. If love doesn't drive you and why you get in relationships, well, you're always kind of looking to other people. Well, what do you have? Well, it's always looking for like the next best thing. And I think they're always in a mental prison. They're afraid the people they're in a relationship with are going to see the truth, that they're not in it for love. And they're always worried about if somebody else has more than them, And the high vibe people are listening to their intuition in the relationships they're on. And everybody, the people they want to be in a relationship with is people who realize that if you take action more out of pride or ego or whatever, this relationship is probably going to end. And so people do this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves so they're not kind of tempted by temptation. And then we have the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. And the reason that came out is because of action. The people that are in high vibe energy want to move forward with the people in their life that are doing this work within themselves to work together with them cooperatively, in a loving, intuitive way, taking responsibility for themselves and anyone else that they might think that is on the same page as them. They also take action towards those people, to invest in those people. If I'm looking for an employee, the reason the man holding heart came out, which is like the King of Cups card, then we have this Yeah, the second chakra. You know, we all want to work together. Well, not everybody, but high vibe people want to work together with other people who have done this work within themselves, who are inspired to take action from love, and who want to work together with them cooperatively in truth and love. You could look at the strategy card as maybe kind of like an Ace of Swords card. What is your truth? Are you on the same page as me? If you're on the same page as me, you are someone, you know, that I want to work with. If some people aren't in a relationship, I mean, there could be some people that got themselves in a situation that if they realize that they're in a mismatched relationship, some of those people are doing this work within them, realizing that if I keep moving forward with some of the people I'm in relationship with, if those people harness this energy in a shadowy way, they could be people who present themselves as loving, but really that isn't the foundation they operate from, and that isn't what drives and motivates them to work together with people. It's kind of like, I think these people are being deceitful. I think these people are presenting themselves. They might have feelings for me. They might have some love for me. But what is the real reason? Am I going to move forward with someone who's creating an illusion? And so when we're ready to see the truth, the sun illuminates kind of the moon. Sometimes people, the moon energy can represent people who are trying to present themselves as sun energy. But the moon and the sun, they both give off light. But one really, it isn't like authentically coming from within them. The sun is what makes the moon light up. And that's what some people are doing in a relationship. They want to have a new beginning and move forward in a relationship. They want to look like they're this loving family person, but it's just an illusion. And they want other people, though, to view them that way. Like, if I get in a relationship with this person, people will view me as this loving family person, maybe because that person's that kind of way. And if I am in a relationship with someone who is like authentic and warm and loving, by default, it can make it look like I'm that type of person too. And for some people, it's kind of like social climbing. I'm going to get in a relationship with someone who seems to have these traits and qualities and characteristics. By default, it kind of makes it look like I'm that type of person. And then if there's someone else I would like to be in a relationship with, I've kind of learned from the more people who are emotionally mature and loving and nurturing and supportive and just and fair and balanced. I've kind of learned from them how to present myself in the world and how they operate within relationships. And then I can go take my illusion on the road into the next relationship. And because I was in a relationship with someone who's like that, other people view me that way. But they're constantly people who create an illusion. It doesn't really originate within them, from within them. It's just creating this illusion. That would be operating more from your ego nature. I've learned these traits and skills of how people operate in the world. I don't embrace it within myself as really being authentically me. My ego nature is running my life. I just try to present myself in this certain way. Some of you could have already, have been in relationships with people who are like that. And you realize people were creating an illusion. And you realize you could have moved forward with them. They can present themselves as loving to you. They can present themselves as loving. And, that would be the man holding heart would be like a King of Cups energy, a Cancer energy. And then also in their Capricorn energy, they could seem very successful in life, have a lot of, just seem like someone that people would want to hire, be in relationships with, marry, and they present themselves as loving people. But once you get in a relationship with them, as time goes by, and the high vibe people are being authentic, they're not creating an illusion, well, that means over time, we keep being inspired by love to keep growing and maturing and healing ourselves over time. Going with the flow of life. And the flow of life is that we are supposed to go through these certain phases of life where we detach from some old ways of being that we've kind of outgrown, kind of more immature ways of viewing the world, and we do some healing and maturing, and then we face our fears to go to the next phase of life. But the people who are creating an illusion, that's really challenging for them because the level they were at before was kind of fake. How do I fake going to a next level of life, you know? And so that's when it can be illuminated because you're trying to bring a dream into reality to go to the next phase of a relationship. And it seems like you kind of get the impression that the other people want to stay right where they're at. This is good. And you're like, well, relationships are supposed to grow and mature over time. And, you know, I have this dream of things growing and changing and maturing over time, and the relationship maturing over time, and being a more deep, meaningful relationship over time. And since the second chakra card is over here, you know, some people, it could be that they have healing to do within their foundation that they haven't healed from. And again, they could operate more from their egoic nature of pride and ego. I want these things that other people have in the world, but I don't want to do the work within myself to illuminate the truth and deal with my own inner issues and my fears about kind of stepping outside my comfort zone. And I'd also have to illuminate the truth that maybe I do operate more from my shadowy nature. Maybe I do try to manipulate people. Maybe I do try to control people. Maybe I do live more from my mind than my heart. In order to move forward in life, we have to free ourselves from some of the things that manipulate us in the all tied up card. What is my truth? Why am I afraid of maybe being more authentically myself, being inspired by love, taking action from love? Why maybe don't I look at life from a higher perspective? Why don't I have hope and faith and belief in myself or in love? Why do I make my life maybe more about living from my mind than my heart, and making my life maybe more about ego and image and money and materialism? And you have to even be inspired to want to offer love to yourself, to bring things out in the light, to deal with them, to free yourself with them, to kind of go to the next phase of life. And some people have no interest in doing that. They want to stay in their comfort zone. And some of those people that are watching other people move forward, I'm kind of looking at the action card as like an 8 of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, about higher learning and education in high vibe energy. Other people have done this work to love themselves, to really be someone who's loving and giving and nurturing, kind of like their cup of love overflows. They have a lot of love to give to other people because they're not in defensive energy. And some people can be envious of that. Why do you kind of love and believe in yourself? Why are you more willing to be open to love and giving love? Why aren't you in defensive energy like me? Why aren't you operating more from your egoic nature? And so we have people in the world who are really kind of walking the talk. That would be high vibe king energy. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. But in high vibe king energy, you really are someone who is who you say you are. Other people, the shadowy king masculine cards can represent people operating more from their ego. And so people operating from their ego want to look like they have what other people have who really are like the real deal. But they haven't done this work within themselves for that to be authentically who they are. And then they get in relationships with people. People try to move a relationship forward. And then these people are kind of resistant and fearful. And that's when the other people start to listen to their intuition that this dream isn't going to come into reality, is it? Because you have to have learned, dealt with some issues to free yourself from them, to be more open to love. And if you're not there, you're not there. And I am ready to be in that type of relationship. And if you're not, I wish you peace. But, just like, if it was bossiness or immaturity or pettiness or whatever, we want to be in relationships with people who have kind of learned some of the same life lessons that we have and have freed themselves from whatever that is that manipulates them, that stops them from being inspired by love to guide their decisions instead of fear and insecurity and pride and ego. So, high vibe people have illuminated the truth. They have been authentic. They have made gestures to people in their life. Because again, the kings can talk about taking action. The high vibe people have expressed their truth and illuminated the truth of how they feel, how they're moving forward. They've made those actions to people that they think are on the same page as them. Some of those people will do this work within them to wrap their brain around this game of life. And also, some people, they love their more immature nature, their shadowy Sagittarius energy. I don't think I have to heal or grow or mature myself. I could love that, but I choose to love, they're still kind of immature and they still like to move forward, kind of presenting themselves as loving to get in relationships, to kind of indulge himself in a relationship. But it's just kind of an illusion that a dream of love is going to come into reality, because that's not where they're at yet. They're just still kind of immature, kind of want to be an immature player in a relationship, male or female. I still want to be bossy or controlling. I might want to be in a relationship with someone, stay in a relationship with someone, move forward in a relationship, because I'm trying to present myself as this loving person in the world. I want to indulge in a relationship. I love being in relationships, but sorry, I have some lessons to learn in life. I still have all these things that kind of manipulate me, and I haven't been illuminated to the truth that love's what makes it all worthwhile. I misuse my gifts. I use my emotions manipulatively, my sexuality manipulatively, my mind, my intuition. I use all these things kind of in a more manipulative way because I want to look like I have what other people have without really doing this work within myself to authentically be that type of person. I'm just creating an illusion. And that's why some people just want to be in a relationship and keep moving forward in a relationship, is because it creates this illusion about who they are. And so long as the people they're in a relationship with maybe stay in it out of fear or insecurity or codependency, then these people have someone working with them to maintain this illusion. And then the people who are kind of working with them might start to feel kind of envious and jealous of people who have a real deal relationship. Well, I wanted that type of relationship, but I'm not in that type of relationship. I have free will. Am I going to stay in a situation that by worldly standards might look really good, but it's more out of fear and insecurity or codependency, or the person I'm in a relationship with really isn't kind of authentic and warm and loving, and I could feel like I'm missing out on an opportunity in love? Do I love and believe in myself enough to listen to my intuition with the door to spirit and the moon card, which can be about listening to your intuition? Am I going to face my fears and trust that the divine didn't expect me to stay in a situation that's kind of a little bit of hell instead of being a little bit of heaven, where I'm working together with people who, you end up basically feeling you're in a relationship with someone who's manipulating you. And some people purposely try to do that. I know, I'm going to try to get you in a relationship with me. I'm going to try to get you to marry me, whatever, Create this illusion about who I am, and then hope that you don't figure out the truth. But if you do, I'm hoping, because you have fear of going out and getting a different job, a different friend, a different relationship, that you'll just keep moving forward in this illusion with me. I'm counting on you operating more from your worldly nature of pride and ego at that point. Well, what would people say? And it's like, well, are you going to let the world keep you in something that's an illusion? Or do you adhere to a higher truth and justice and say, basically, like, this person committed fraud? They made it seem like the dream was going to come into reality, but the dream is never going to come into reality with them. Because they live more from their mind than their heart, and they have these fears and these insecurities that, they're not willing to put the work in to free themselves from. They don't want to illuminate the truth. They want to keep operating from their defensive egoic nature, and they want me to keep moving forward with them being in that energy. Well, that's an injustice. We have the free will to keep moving forward in that way if we want. Some people don't. And so some people are going to get out. Some people did get out. The people who did get out or are getting out are going to make offers to people. The kings talk about taking action. And then we can only work with the people in our life who are willing to take action to speak their truth, who are inspired to work together with us from love. And if there's people in our life that we could have communicated our truth to and illuminated the truth to, and those people aren't taking action to speak their truth, to move forward with us in that way, then we have to keep moving forward, assuming, they're not on the same page as us, or they're in their own loving relationships, that they're living their truth. If their truth was that they wanted to take action with us to move forward in this way, they would. And we have to keep listening to our intuition to move forward. So, as you're moving forward in your life, you're also going to meet different people. And you're going to listen to your intuition about the different people you meet. You're going to speak your truth. You're going to be, know that you will be tempted because of these things that you want in the world. And that if you are tempted to take action more out of your pride, your ego, your lust, your greed, you'll probably get in something that's a repeat pattern of something you've already been in. What is your truth? And the people that you meet as you move forward who seem to be truthful and honest and authentic and have done the same work that you've done within yourself, those are the people you're going to move forward with. So what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Capricorn energy that they might not see coming up? The High Priestess, the Ten of Cups, the Star card, because of the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles talks about going within to see the truth. We work through our own fears, our own insecurities, our own self-limiting beliefs. We work through all those things here to love and believe in ourselves, to listen to our intuition, to be inspired, to keep taking action in truth and love. And we can wish everybody in the world peace and love and joy, but the only people we're going to move forward with in a more involved relationship are the people who have also done this work within themselves to heal and grow and mature themselves, who have also seen the truth. They listen to their intuition, have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, not more about the ego and the image and the money and the materialism or indulgence. And you're going to listen to your intuition about who's who. So for the people that are just working through this process right now, you will get to the truth. When you keep putting work and effort to listen to your intuition, to not be deceived and manipulated, loving people treat you with love. they're just and fair, they act with character and integrity, they're truthful and honest. And the people who don't aren't. And they have some lessons to learn about what it means to be in a loving relationship. And as time goes by, because we're doing that work within ourselves, we're able to detach. But the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight of the deck. So it takes time. We're emotionally complex human beings. We wanted a dream to come into reality with people. We had people in our life, whether they're siblings, a friend, or romantic interest, or adult children, we wanted them to move forward with us in this way. But we see the truth that everybody's got free will. And some people still have some lessons to learn in life. They may never learn them, but they might. But in the meantime, we're going to keep maintaining balance within ourselves, staying in a place of balance and abundance and love within ourselves, and invest our time, energy, and effort. And who we invest a lot of our time, energy, and effort into is the people who are moving forward with us in this way. The other people we wish them peace and love and joy. I hope it works out for you. But I'm going to invest my time, energy, and effort into the people who treat me in a just and fair and loving way, who take action from love and truth to work together with me. And the people who don't, I'm not going to indulge you in your immature nature, your egoic nature, your bossy, controlling, whatever nature, And then those people can be mad because they couldn't manipulate you. Why do you love and believe in yourself? Why do you maintain balance within yourself? Why aren't you indulging me in my ego, in my more selfish ways of being? And it's like, well, you're going to have to find someone else to indulge you, someone who's on the same page as you, someone who's at that stage of life. But I want just and fair and balanced and loving relationships. And if that's not where you're at, then I wish you peace, but I'm moving forward with the people who do treat me in a just and fair and loving way. And some of these people could be in whatever relationships they're in, but they're staying in their comfort zone. And whatever manipulates them is continuing to manipulate them. And other people have freed themselves from those things to be willing to be open to give and receive love with people in a just and fair manner and grow up and act with character and integrity. What's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly or shadowy Capricorn energy that they might not see coming up? Oh gosh. We have the Five of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Seven of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Seven of Cups. And the reason those came out is because of the Seven of Pentacles. So, the Seven of Pentacles has to do with our philosophy of life in Taurus energy. High vibe Taurus energy is people who walk the talk. But there's some people in the world, in their Taurus energy and their Capricorn energy, their philosophy of life is that it's kind of more about the world, just being in a relationship, just wanting to be married, just having a job. But they're not people who are inspired to grow and mature and heal themselves over time. It's just most important to be in a relationship or to have a job or be married. But it's more because maybe of the ego and the image and the status. Or they found someone to indulge them, or they're indulging someone else for those things. They're making their life more about the things of the world, wanting to look like a boss in the world. For some of them, trying to confuse people about the truth of who they are. I need to get in a relationship with someone. 2 cards in the Seven of Cups which can be about trying to emotionally confuse people about the truth. The truth is, I have this idea of what will make me happy, and I've made it more about myself or being defensive or about ego and image and money and materialism. And I could be trying to make people view me as a high vibe person, but I'm just creating an illusion. I actually invest in living more from my mind than my heart. And I view the King of Swords as people's emotionally defensive nature within themselves. We can't do love. We could get hurt doing love. We have to make our life more about these things and probably trying to manipulate and control people in a relationship to maintain this illusion about who we are because we invest in living more from our mind than our heart. Let's keep moving forward with this illusion because we don't really want to see the truth that it's supposed to be about love. And we maybe haven't learned to love ourselves. Or maybe we're consumed by our greed. And we love the world and the things of the world that we want to indulge in, and we make those things more important to us. And so what don't they see coming? The people who are in high vibe energy harness these energies in a high vibe way. And their philosophy of life in their Taurus Capricorn energy is to put in this work and effort and to invest in being free of letting the world and their ego and their fear and their insecurities manipulate them. They've done the work to free themselves. They are a good leader in their own life. And when they get in relationships with other people, they also make good decisions for when their decisions that they make are going to affect other people. They're a good manager in their own life, and they're a good kind of person to be in relationship with because they really are who they say they are. They're emotionally mature, stable, grounded, loving people who really walk the talk. And those people did this work within themselves to see through the illusion. They also had invested maybe in people who live more from their mind than their heart and create an illusion. And they saw through the illusion and they invested in speaking the truth. That people are creating an illusion. They're not who they say they are. They might like to present themselves as these pillars of society, these just and fair people, these emotionally stable, loving, nurturing people that people should be in a relationship with, but it's just an illusion. They're more aligned with their worldly egoic nature, and if it's good for their ego or their image, wanting other people to stay in denial of the truth of who they are, just like they stay in denial of the truth of who they are. You're stubborn, you're bossy, you're controlling. If you say something's just and fair, you think it's just and fair, but it's not just and fair. It might be best for them at this stage of life where they're at, for them to kind of live their life this way, because we all do what helps us feel balanced at any given time in our life. And this is the stage of life where they're at. You know, we can only live life based on how we view the world and what we view as possible and what we're defensive to or not defensive to. And that's fine. They can live their life like this. It just won't be with some of the high vibe loving people. Those people are moving on because they've already freed themselves from their more defensive, stubborn, prideful, indulgent, materialistic nature. They want a more balanced, authentic, deep, meaningful relationship, and they're ready for it. And some of these other people aren't. And they kind of keep hoping that other people will just keep being in denial of the truth of who they are and keep moving forward in a relationship with them, having the loving people be loving and letting them create this illusion that they're this loving person, but they're defensive to love. How are you going to have your dreams come into reality with someone who's so defensive of being hurt that they live more from their mind than their heart, or what drives and motivates them is more about ego and image? I don't want to be in a relationship with someone because of the ego and the image. That might be your truth. That's not my truth. I want to be in relationships with people who want to invest in love. We all put in work and effort to have stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things. But I want the driving factor of our philosophy of life to be that we're in this because of love. And the other people don't want to do that. Their foundation that they operate from in their dualistic free will nature is more about themselves or the world or indulgence or immaturity or ego. And they didn't think some people would see through the illusion. And people did. And those people saw the truth. When someone's holding one pentacle, it means in high vibe, they did this work to see through the illusion, to love and believe in themselves, to have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, to invest in people that just went through some phases of life to learn these lessons. They've learned to love themselves, to free themselves from what manipulated them. They want to go invest in other people who are on the same page as them. And some people in the world aren't on the same page. They still have some growing up to do. They still have some illusions, either caught up in the illusion of the world or have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. But anybody can view a relationship whatever way they want. This is my truth. I should be able to be like this. You should be like that. I should be able to view you this way, treat you that way. That's my illusion of what it means to be in a relationship. That's my philosophy of life. It's like, okay, well, your philosophy of life is different than mine. That's not how I view relationships. But if that's how you do, you just need to go find someone else, because it's not going to be me. So right now, some of those people are doing that. The Seven of Cups can mean, an option. There's someone else emotionally I think I can go invest in, who I think is on the same page as me. Perfect. They should go get in a relationship with someone who's on the same page as them. Someone who's views life the same way they do, views relationships the same way they do, has the same amount of life lessons. But to try to get in a relationship with someone who has learned much more life lessons than they have, who is authentic and warm and loving, and they're really not, and they're kind of trying to manipulate people and confuse people about the truth, that's an injustice. They should go get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. And that might be what they don't see coming. Right now, they might have went and are maybe taking action to go get in a relationship with someone. If those people are balanced within themselves and aligned with truth and love, these people are going to realize they weren't seeing things clearly. Some of these people are in relationships. They're going to leave that relationship to go communicate with someone who they think will move forward with them in a relationship. But when we're in shadowy energy, our judgment can be clouded. We're not seeing things clearly. Some of these people are going to try to go get in a relationship with someone who's balanced and loving. The opposite sign of Capricorn is Cancer. Sometimes we can be tipped more into one or the other, but the high vibe people are balanced between their Capricorn and Cancer energy. I've went out to the edge on both ways. I've let my heart run my life. I've let my worldly nature run my life. I'm now balanced between the two, and I require truth and justice. And some of these people are going to go try to make an offer with someone who's more just and fair and balanced and loving again, trying to emotionally manipulate someone who's like that, and they're going to realize that they weren't seeing things clearly, and that the people they're trying to manipulate see the truth. What are you offering me? Are you trying to tempt me with things of the world because you are kind of full of yourself because of whatever traits, qualities, or characteristics or assets that you have? Yeah, I've already been in relationships with people who try to tempt me in my more worldly, egoic nature, and I don't want to be in that type of relationship. What lessons have you learned in life? What truths have you learned? Are you just and fair, or are you more bossy and controlling? And if you're not aligned with truth, then you're trying to create an illusion. And I'm going to invest in speaking my truth. And some of these people that are going to try to manipulate a new loving person in the world are going to have someone who's going to move away from them. Even though they might be tempted to want to be in a relationship with them for some reason, they've already been there and done that. I can't move forward with someone who hasn't been illuminated to the truth. Someone who wants me to move forward in an illusion, them being an illusion. No. For others of them, they're going to have someone who wants to invest in them because that's how they live life, maybe. And if those people want to live their life making life about an illusion. Look how wonderful our life is. Neither one of us want to align with our more loving, hopeful, believing nature, but we both like to present ourselves as loving people in the world. We both are kind of immature and we have some lessons learned. Well, they could learn it from each other. Maybe if they, it would be just and fair, is what I'm saying, for them to be in a relationship with someone who has these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. Who, if they're more motivated by ego and image, to be in a relationship with someone who's more about ego and image, that seems just and fair. Isn't life about creating this illusion in the world of how wonderful our life is? Because neither one of us want to do love, and we're very jealous of other people in our life who seem to have invested in their dreams, but we don't want to do love. And some of those people maybe moved on from us. And then they get to invest in how they view life, and the high vibe people get to go invest in how they view life. And that is just and fair. So there you go, Capricorn energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.